Hello everyone, hope you all are fine. Let's begin a session with health. First is Maternity Benefit Amendment Act 2017. Just go with this fact thoroughly, mentioned on picture. Right. The Maternity Benefit Act originally provided maternity benefit of 12 weeks. In 2017, the law was amended to extend the periods to 26 weeks. The act is applicable to all establishments employing 10 or more employees. Women who legally adopt a child below the age of 3 months or a commissioning mother will be entitled to maternity benefit for 12 weeks from the date on which the child is handed over to her. A commissioning mother is defined as a biological mother who uses her egg to create an embryo implanted in another woman. The Maternity Benefit Amendment Act makes creche facility mandatory for every establishment employing 50 or more employees. It introduces a provision which requires every establishment to intimate a woman at the time of her appointment of the maternity benefits available to her. Okay, next is sepsis. Widescreen news. Many coronavirus patients have died of sepsis when the body's immune system goes into overdrive. Sepsis is a life-threatening organ dysfunction caused by the body's immune system overreacting in response to an infection. This overactive toxic response can lead to tissue damage, multiple organ failure, and death. Sepsis can be triggered by a variety of pathogens, viruses, bacteria, fungi, or parasites. The causes of sepsis are usually pneumonia, wound infections, urinary tract infections, or infections in the abdominal cavity. In addition to the known seasonal influenza viruses, other viruses that are highly infectious, such as coronaviruses, Ebola, and yellow fever viruses, dengue, swine flu, or bird flu viruses can also cause sepsis. There are several standout symptoms that usually indicate possible sepsis. For example, a drop in blood pressure with a simultaneous rise in heart rate, fever, rapid, heavy breathing, an unusually strong feeling of illness, and sudden confusion. Next is 6 into 6 into 6 strategy. Just go with this picture thoroughly. Okay. Widescreen news. Government of India has launched the Anemia Mukt Bharat AMB strategy under the Prime Minister's overreaching scheme for holistic nourishment Poshan Abhiyan, and the targets has been set to reduce anemia by 3% per year. The 6 into 6 into 6 strategy under AMB implies 6 age groups, 6 interventions, and 6 institutional mechanisms. The strategy focuses on ensuring supply chain, demand generation, and strong monitoring using for addressing anemia, both due to nutritional and non-nutritional causes. The 6 population groups under AMB strategy are: first is children 6 to 59 months, second is children 5 to 9 years, and third one is adolescent girls and boys 10 to 19 years, and also pregnant women, lactating women, and women of reproductive age, that is WRA, group of 15 to 49 years of age. Next one is hydroxychloroquine. Okay, Widescreen news. Hydroxychloroquine, a drug that has existed for several decades, could see a resurgence of demand after the Indian Council of Medical Research ICMR recommended its use as a post-exposure prophylactic preventive medicine against the novel coronavirus. Hydroxychloroquine is an oral drug used in the treatment of autoimmune disease such as rheumatoid arthritis. And please don't be confused with anti-malaria drug chloroquine, right? The US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, that is CDC, says both hydroxychloroquine and chloroquine have in vitro activity against SARS-CoV and SARS-CoV-2 and other coronaviruses, with hydroxychloroquine having higher potency against SARS-CoV-2. Next one is Operation Namaste. Widespread news: the Indian Army has code-named its anti-COVID-19 campaign as Operation Namaste to help the government in its fight against the pandemic. Soldiers are advised to follow the lockdown wherever they do not have any operational role and stay fit. Under the operation, soldiers are assured that their families will be well taken care of. Right? Next one is Arogya Setu app. Okay. Widespread news: the Ministry of Electronics and Information and Technology (MEITY) has recently launched a mobile app called Arogya Setu, which will help people in identifying the risk of getting affected by the coronavirus. The app, built through public-private partnership, assesses the risk of catching the coronavirus infection. It will calculate this based on their interaction with others using cutting-edge Bluetooth technology, algorithms, and artificial intelligence. Once installed in a smartphone, the app detects other nearby devices with Arogya Setu installed. The app can then calculate the risk of infection based on sophisticated parameters. If any of these contact is tested positive, the app's design ensures privacy first, right? The personal data collected by the app is encrypted using state-of-the-art technology and stays secure on the phone till it is needed for facilitating medical intervention. Next one is World Health Organization, that is WHO. WHO is the first global health organization, replacing many regional and national health bodies. WHO Constitution came into force on April 7, 1948, a date which was celebrated every year as a World Health Day. It has 194 member countries and its secretariat is in Geneva, Switzerland. It has the authority of directing and coordinating matters related to international health. Right? World Health Assembly is the supreme decision-making body of WHO, attended by delegations from all member states. The executive board of WHO implements the decisions and policies of the World Health Assembly. Next one is Central Drugs Standard Control Organization, that is CDSCO, right? Drug Controller General of India, DCGI, heads the Central Drugs Standard Control Organization, that is CDSCO, which ensures implementation of Drugs and Cosmetics Act across the country. CDSCO looks after quality control of drugs and cosmetics as well as approval of new drugs. In India, it comes under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, right? Next one is COVID-19 Active Response and Expenditure Support, that is CARES program, right? Widespread news: recently the Asian Development Bank ADB has provided $1.5 billion loan to India to fund India's immediate response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Earlier, the Asian Development Bank ADB had assured Indian government of rupees 2.2 billion, about rupees 16,500 crore, support to fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. The loan will help the central government to focus on immediate priorities such as COVID-19 containment and prevention, social protection for the poor and economically vulnerable sections of the society. The CARES program support the government's stimulus package geared to expand existing social assistance programs, boost resources for COVID-19 prevention and control, safeguard productive sectors and workers from the economic downturn. Next one is Ruhadar. Okay, Ruhadar. Basically, widespread news: Ruhadar is a low-cost mechanical ventilator to fight against COVID-19, and it is developed by IIT Bombay team. The cost of production of one ventilator is rupees 10,000. The team will now go for medical testing for the prototype. When it is approved, it will be taken for mass production. The effort is to make it amenable for production by small scale industry. Ventilators are an important component of the medical infrastructure required for treating coronavirus infected patients, providing critical breathing support to those falling critically ill. Okay, next one is remdesivir. Okay, remdesivir was manufactured in 2014 to treat for Ebola by US based biotechnology firm Gilead Sciences. It has since been used to treat for MERS and SARS, both caused by members of the coronavirus family. Current research is looking at whether the drug's antiviral properties work against SARS-CoV-2, the coronavirus that causes COVID-19 disease. Next one is pulse oximeter, right? This is pulse oximeter. Okay. A medical device called pulse oximeter used to detect oxygen level in the blood could help in the early detection of silent hypoxia. Using the device, those who have COVID-19 or those suspected of having it can check their oxygen levels early on. It is a test used to measure the oxygen level, oxygen saturation of the blood. It is an easy, painless measure of how well oxygen is being sent to parts of your body furthest from your heart, such as the arms and legs. The device is generally used to check the health of patients who have known conditions that affect blood oxygen levels, such as heart and lung conditions, and for those who show symptoms such as shortness of breath, right? The device measures the saturation of oxygen in red blood cells and can be attached to a person's fingers, toes, nose, feet, ears, or forehead. Based on information oximeter, a healthcare provider can take a decision about whether a person needs extra oxygen. Next one is Operation Warp Speed. Whites in news, US President Donald Trump has recently announced a new initiative, Operation Warp Speed. It is a public-private partnership meant to hurry the development, manufacturing, and distribution of a coronavirus vaccine. Next one is International Year of the Nurse and the Midwife, right? Whites in news, the World Health Organization WHO has designated the year 2020 as a year of the nurse and midwife in honor of the 200th birth anniversary of Florence Nightingale. Nurses and midwives play a vital role in providing health services. The declaration of Year of the Nurse and Midwife will help to strengthen nursing and midwifery for universal health coverage. Strengthening nursing will help to achieve sustainable development goals, in particular the SDG 3, ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages, SDG 5, promoting gender equity, and SDG 8, contributing to economic development. Nurses and midwives constitute more than 50% of the health workforce in many countries. The world needs 9 million more nurses and midwives if it is to achieve universal health coverage by 2030. Next one is Florence Nightingale. Florence Nightingale was a British nurse, statistician, and social reformer who is also considered as a foundational philosopher of modern nursing. She was born in Florence, Italy on 12 May 1820. The year 2020 marks a bicentenary year of her birth. During the Crimean War, she and a team of nurses improved the unsanitary conditions at a British-based hospital, greatly reducing the death count. Her writings sparkled worldwide healthcare reform. She was known for her night rounds to aid the wounded, establishing her image as the lady with the lamp. Right? Next one is Cobas 6800 testing machine. Whites in news. Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has recently dedicated the Cobas 6800 testing machine to the nation. This is the first such testing machine that has procured by the government for testing of COVID-19 cases and is installed at the National Center for Disease Control, that is NCDC. Cobas 6800 is a fully automated high-end machine for performing real-time polymerase chain reaction, that is RT-PCR testing for COVID-19. It will provide quality high volume testing, as it can test around 12,000 samples in 24 hours. Okay, this is important. This will largely increase the testing capacity in the country. It is a sophisticated machine enabled with robotics that minimizes the chance of contamination as well as the risk of infection to the healthcare workers. The device can also detect other pathogens like viral hepatitis B and C, HIV human immunodeficiency virus, mycobacterium tuberculosis, papilloma, chlamydia, a bacterial infection, etc. Right? Okay, that's all for today's. Hope you like our session. Share our videos with your friends. Okay, if you have any type of query, you can contact us. Stay home, stay safe, and these are the numbers. Our number is 888-345-6893. You can join our Telegram channel also, that is Agram IAS. Okay, thank you.